What is up, everybody? This is Matt from Fryerpod.com. If you don't know, you can go over to YouTube and type in Fryerpod, F-R-Y-E-R-P-O-D, and you can see that I have a YouTube channel. I've started to do I have some fun stuff on there, some song covers that I've done, and I've put on a couple of different cooking demonstrations of me just cooking at home here. I have a question, and you can answer yes or no, or who gives a shit. Do you want to be better in the kitchen? Do you have a little bit of skill and want to learn some concepts and techniques and things to help you continuously expand your knowledge of cooking? That's what I'm going to show you starting right now. I grew up I started working in restaurants when I was in high school. I started cooking when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and I have spent more than half of my life in the restaurant and food industry, and most of that time was spent in the kitchen. What I would like to do is not teach you recipe-based knowledge. I would like to teach you concept-based knowledge. And what I intend on doing is kind of going through the basics, and you may get bored. You may think like, oh, I never thought about that. But we'll talk about different things. So if you want to join me on this journey, give a thumbs up, give a like, subscribe, and we'll get it going. You can go to Fryerpod.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter. You can see what I'm doing on the podcast. You can see what I'm doing on the blog. I try to keep everything kind of a little bit fresh, and this is something new that I'm going to be doing for you guys. So let's jump right into it. There are a few tools that you really need to, I would say, invest in the kitchen. One being a chef's knife of some sort. And I'm not talking about the butcher block. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about if you want to really, like, the worst enemy in a kitchen is a dull knife. So maybe if you do a lot of cooking at home and you want to take that next step, then maybe take a look at investing into a knife. A good knife will cost you, upwards of $100 into $200, depending on what it is that you are using. However, if you look at the length of time that one of those knives will hang around, especially in a home kitchen, it'll pay for itself no matter what you're doing. I have some knives that I really enjoy. One of them is right here. This is a knife by Global, Global. I'll put a link in this video so that you can go take a look at Global knives. I really enjoy this knife. One of the main reasons that I first started using these knives so long ago was that it's one piece. It's not, if you notice, a lot of wooden handle knives have a press together with rivets right here, and a lot of food buildup happens here, and it gets a lot of bacteria can build up right there. So I thought that these knives were super, super sanitary. I thought they looked really cool. I mean, like, look at that design. But they have really good weight. They keep a really, really great edge. So this is one knife that I really like, Global. This other one here, I believe this is also a Japanese knife. This is a Brietto, and it's very similar. You see this one's much lighter in weight. This would be good for many things in the kitchen. A lot of chefs will use this for vegetable knives. But this is Brietto, Brieto, and again, I'll put a link in the video for this if you want to check it out. The thing that both of those knives have in common, besides the single piece and the sanitation aspect, is they keep really, really good edges. And again, a dull knife is something that is an enemy to any person in the kitchen. And the way that a knife edge works is, you think about, they're kind of like fingers, and over time of pounding down, you're chopping, you're chopping like this, or whatever you're doing, however you're doing, going up and down, up and down, up and down. Those fingers start to bend or get out of shape. They're going to go one way or the other, or they're going to go like this. And so you use a sharpening steel, whatever one. This is just one that I've had around for home use. In the kitchen, I really like a diamond steel or an F-Dick multi-cut. That's probably the last one that I just mentioned is probably the best sharpening steel that I've ever used. But anyway, and there's also these kinds of knives. I just talked about the wooden handle knives that have a tendency to get bacteria buildup. This, I believe, is called a Sani-Soft knife, or you can find these all over the internet. You can find them at your local kitchen gadget store. They're not going to cost you too much, but this is a good. This would be called a boning knife or a boner. It's a stiff knife used for doing fillet work and other things. But I like this knife. It's got a good handle to it, good weight, and keeps a fairly decent edge. And it didn't cost an arm and a leg, and it will still have some good uses for it. But that should kind of give you an idea of what. So we're going to talk about tools. I'll talk about concepts. I'll take you into my kitchen. I'll show you. I always see on shows techniques that I think that maybe there's a better way to do something. So I hope that you like this first one, this first little intro into what I'm doing. Remember, I will try to update this as often as possible, maybe once or twice a week. I'm not going to make any promises, but if you do subscribe, let me know what you'd like to learn, and hit me up in the comments and tell me what you like and what you didn't like, and I'll do my best to make everyone out there better chefs. Peace.